Imagine being thrust suddenly into the absolute darkness of space. Your physical body is gone, but your perception remains, surrounded by the distant glow of nebulae and infinite cosmic structures. In this place, all memory of your earthly identity is wiped away. You do not remember who you were or where you came from, but the absence of that identity does not create fear. It produces a profound, luxurious bliss. If the loss of our physical form results in a state of perfect, painless peace, returning to a biological body seems entirely illogical. Why endure the weight of gravity and the sting of human nerves when you could float in eternal comfort? While suspended in this dark expanse, you are approached by an intelligence without physical shape. You perceive it entirely through emotion, an immense, incorporeal presence that feels like an amalgamation of every intertwined spirit in the cosmos. It is, essentially, a massive collective us. This entity presents a rare, gentle ultimatum. Because you are lingering on the threshold of biological life, you have a choice. You can remain out here in the peaceful void, or you can go back to the body you left behind. Most people never get this option. They are pulled through the cycle automatically. To make a decision that directly contradicts the perfect comfort of the void, you have to understand exactly why the physical world exists. The entity begins to reveal the hidden architecture of the universe and why it requires us to live. This flowchart visualizes the universe's two main states of existence. There is stasis, where we remain as immortal, formless beings in a state of deep rest, and there is animation, a temporary physical phase where we are wedded to a biological body. We are constantly cycling between the two, waiting in a massive cosmic queue for our turn at animation. A spirit's priority in this line is calculated mathematically. The longer you have rested in stasis and the harder you worked to make your previous physical life significant, the faster you move towards a new body. But actions have administrative consequences. Spirits who used their earthly time to cause extreme harm or destruction are placed at the far back of the line. They are suspended from reincarnation for extended periods, given space to ponder their involvement in the cycle before they are allowed another attempt. The afterlife described here is not a realm of punishment. It is a highly organized holding area, managing souls until they are ready to step back into the necessary friction of physical life. Biological planets function as stages for narratives. In the freezing vacuum of space, these worlds radiate an intense magnetic heat, a warmth generated entirely by the friction, noise, and emotion of the beings living on them. Orbiting these planets are countless slumbering spirits in stasis. Kept separated from the physical world by a strict space-time barrier, they drift around the edges of the atmosphere, watching the activities of the living with rapt, silent attention. Immortal spirits actually require the intense emotional heat generated by biological life. Without the violent, active struggles of living creatures, the spirits in the void would slumber too deeply and never strive for anything. The living act as a cosmic campfire, nourishing those in stasis. This shifts the context of human suffering. Earthly pain, conflict, and emotional exhaustion are the vital fuels that keep the eternal cosmos awake. We each take our turn enduring the heavy burden of a physical body so that the universe itself does not go cold. Looking down from this state of clarity, you see the human host you left behind and recognize the immense weight of the pain she carried. For the first time, you see the injustice you did to her, how you, as her spirit, had been rigid and judgmental, forcing her into a life that pushed others away. You decide to return, not to escape the void, but to help her finally connect with the world. To return, the entity manually rewinds Earth's physical structure. You watch the planet cycle through hundreds of millions of years of geologic permutations. Supercontinents from Columbia to Tangia form and shatter. Mountains rise and crumble into the sea in a matter of seconds. The human landscape is completely unidentifiable from space. You only orient yourself when you recognize the shape of the Pacific Ocean. Spotting the familiar body of water, you dive downward, making landfall off the coast of Mexico and tracing the coastline north. You follow the Columbia River inland, turning down the Willamette River and tracking Interstate 84. You have to literally cling to the ground to keep from flying off as the planet rotates. The immense, omnipresent gigantism of being a cosmic spirit rapidly collapses. You are squished back down into a hyper-localized pinpoint, bound by the swift physical rotation of the world. You find your physical body as the hospital staff lays her head back onto a gurney. At the exact moment her head touches the mattress, you jump into her chest. The absolute peace of the void shatters. You are slammed with sensory overload. You feel extreme, sweating heat. Trillions of microscopic cells are burning to fuel your existence. The atmosphere presses into your lungs. Gravity drags at your limbs, and physical nerves sting your brain with chaotic electricity. Amidst the shock, there is a clear, jarring duality. You can feel exactly where your immortal spirit ends and where the fully formed, wildly alarmed identity of your human host begins. You are two distinct things, temporarily forced into the same space. We think of biological life as the default setting, but re-entering a body exposes how violent the process actually is. It is the abrasive, heavy shock of forcing an infinite soul into a dense, bleeding container. Suddenly, the physical reality begins to fail. You are abruptly thrust backward, ejected directly into the darkness of space as the human body goes into medical crisis on the operating table. The line between animation and stasis blurs instantly. The cosmic entity is there waiting. Its tone is grave. It warns you that your earthly chance is closing, and you must decide immediately if you are going to fight for this life. Seeing your human body limp and dangling on the table below, you deliberately dive back into the searing coldness of physical existence. Maintaining a biological life is not a passive experience. It demands an active, desperate commitment from the spirit to anchor itself inside the host, fighting against the natural, peaceful pull of the cosmic void. You wake up the next day inside a ravaged, weak physical body, fully retaining the memory of eternal slumber. Looking up from the hospital bed, you make a mental effort to send profound gratitude across the cosmic barrier, thanking the big us watching from the quiet dark. While the bliss of the void remains a clear memory, you no longer idealize the idea of leaving. You find yourself thrilled by the simple, heavy weight of the waking world and the opportunity to inhabit this body once again. Because the painful struggle of human existence is the exact mechanism that keeps the universe alive. Every conflict and difficult emotion we endure is the fuel that warms the cosmos. Being here to burn for them is a profound privilege.